risking their lives, pushing past the point of exhaustion for months on end. They're heroes, and in terms of properties defended and lives saved, the contribution of our firies is incalculable. But their sacrifice is all too easy to measure.
As we go to air tonight, there is more tragic news from this bushfire emergency.
A large air tanker heading to the snowy mountains has crashed.
There were 3 American crew members on board. None has survived.
Search crews have now reached the crash scene, one of total devastation.
Today, tributes flowed for the 3 US crewmen lost in yesterday's air tanker crash. First Officer Paul Hudson, husband of Noreen, Flight Engineer Rick De Morgan Jr., father of Lucas and Logan, and Captain Ian Macbeth, husband of Bodie and father of Abigail, Calvin and Ella.
We will be forever indebted to the enormous contribution and indeed the ultimate sacrifice that's been paid as a result of these extraordinary individuals.
We've got a tight-knit community within the fire world, and it doesn't matter if you're a contractor, a Canadian, a New Zealander, an Australian. It hits hard when we lose one of our own.
The tragedy brings the firefighter death toll to 8 this summer and the total bushfire toll to 31. Australia's large air tanker fleet, one of our most potent firefighting weapons, has been grounded while an investigation is carried out.
All we know is we lost contact and the field reports indicated that there was a pretty significant fireball.
Just hours later, another 6 firefighters were taken to hospital after their fire truck rolled off an embankment on the south coast of New South Wales. No one's under any illusions here. Battling bushfires is dangerous work, but as the crisis stretches into its 3rd month, is there more we could be doing to keep our firies safe?
Well, Craig Lapsley is the former Victorian Emergency Management Commissioner. He was involved during the Black Saturday fires and he joins us now. Craig, I think Australia's heart has been broken as we've seen the loss of life amongst firefighters. What do you think can be done more to ensure crew safety on the front line?
Look, Lisa, one of the most critical things at the moment, it's been going for so long. If you think about the fire season in Queensland and New South Wales started in July. So we're now into 7 months of fire across Victoria, across multiple states, and it's reached from Queensland to Tasmania and across to Western Australia. So it's broad. I think the key issue now is all about fatigue and safety. There's got to be a really strong message as we move into the heart of summer, and we're only in the middle of summer, to say everyone, our firefighters, our communities, it's all about fatigue, but it's also about those emergency workers that are helping the communities in the recovery.
So, Craig, practically speaking, how would you change the way we manage fatigue for all those people who are out there on the front lines at the moment?
Look, it's got to be right back to the fire brigades themselves about monitoring their people. It's got to be buddy to buddy. It's got to be from the commissioners and chiefs, but it's got to be that local level to understand that they're doing hours and hours of work, and it's so easy to just keep going and then next minute you trip up. So it's about your safety, it's about the community safety, even to the point where it should be a community discussion to say how are we going as a group of people, how are we handling this and how are we going to get through the next number of weeks, and it looks like the summer will be there right till the end of February, if not into March.
Craig, in a lot of cases, volunteers are protecting their own communities. So is it hard to convince them to take a breather?
It is. It's so easy for a volunteer to be that community-spirited person just to keep doing it. And that's why I say, and we all should be saying, that buddy system. You know, even if a volunteer is down the street at the butcher shop or at the local supermarket, to have a chat to them about their health and well-being. And it's not just fatigue. You think about the mental strain, the physical pressure that they're on. So it's got to be the mental health, it's got to be the physical pressure they're under, which all leads to a person being a healthy person and being able to do what they've got to do. But there's got to be some time out and there's got to be some health and wellbeing checks along the way to make sure our people are getting it right across Australia.
Craig, we really appreciate you sharing your insight. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So sad, isn't it, when you think what Craig says, that we really are only halfway through summer. I mean, the whole country has been behind the firefighters, but the challenge now is how do we support them to keep that momentum if they're potentially facing another 2 months of this?
And it is that relentless thing of, you know, we're all watching it on our screens, we're following the stories, and we're getting exhausted by it. Can you imagine the firefighters out in the field just
on the front
day
line
after day?
Exactly.
And just to your point, I mean, it really does mean that, you know, is this going to happen more in the future? We almost need to fundamentally rethink how we organise around this. We're talking about, you know, 1 or 2 months worth of emergency now. This is, of course, the new normal, and it fundamentally changes the way we think about everything.